What if I told you that you can still close the sale even at the very ending of your sales call? Literally at the very ending of your sales call. I have 4 tips for you. If you have lost sales at the beginning, at the middle part of your presentation, and of course at the very ending of your presentation. So today, I want to talk about effective tips on ending your sales call and still have a possibility of closing the sale. So let's get into it. But before I give you the tips, let me just set the stage for you. Salespeople, we know at which point in our sales call when it's time to close. It could be when the client has given you enough buying signals, and if your client actually submitted themselves to closing themselves to you because you've done a great job building up the interest and really qualifying and finding the needs of your client. But we know that's not always the case. So for today's topic, I want to break down to you 4 simple practical tips that you might want to try on ending your sales call. In my experience, I've done this myself. I've trained my sales team in many ways possible of alternating these 4 tips, and we managed to secure and still make sales out of it. So it's my pleasure to share this to you. If you're ready, let's go to the first one. Tip number 1: summarize key points. Okay, so let me draw the scenario here. You've done your full presentation, you've done many attempts of closing, and the client is still not giving in. Again, this is either face-to-face or telesales. What you do next is you don't just say, okay, Mr. Smith, okay, Mr. Lim, have a good day. Let me know if you need anything. This is a standard wrong script that salespeople do when they're ending their sales call or their sales meeting. They just get up or they just want to get out of the call and just say, okay, thanks for your time. Let me know. The let me know part, you know that they will not let you know. Because if they will let you know, they would already have signed up to you on the spot. But what we want to learn today is to really understand how can I actually save, or how can I turn this sales call into a sale at the end or at the very end of the sales presentation. So again, summarize key points. What do you mean by key points? Of course, number 1, you want to start with recap the benefits. You want to recap the benefits. I'll give you a small role play here. So you would go and say, okay, Mr. Smith, I appreciate your time today, but I want to make sure that the benefits are very clear with you. And let me just give you a quick recap of the benefits. So for your main benefits, you're actually getting 50% on your unlimited dining visits. This will be at any of our dining outlets, 365 days a year, except only on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day. You won't need the voucher for this. We have a digital material for you to facilitate your membership. And all of this you can book directly using the mobile app. And on top of that, you do have your complimentary night stay that you and your wife can enjoy. Again, same terms and conditions as your dining benefits, 365 days a year, except only on public holidays, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and Valentine's Day. You can also make a reservation of your complimentary night stay using the mobile app provided in your membership kit. And finally, Mr. Lim, don't forget, you do have sets of vouchers. These are group dining vouchers that saves you half the price for a group of 6 to 10 and 8 to 12. So I am sending you, or you will be receiving, four of these vouchers. They are fully transferable. So anyone from your family member, anyone from your circle of friends who might want to try our dining outlets using your membership discount of 50% off the total group dining bill, just book them, make a reservation for them, sir, on your mobile app, and then make sure that they have the membership number, and the confirmation for the booking, and they will be good to go. So again, Mr. Smith, in summary, all these main benefits I've mentioned to you just now is only for a value of $500 plus the service tax and the government tax, and that comes to 588 Singapore dollars. Now, that's a role play, guys. So, what do you mean by recap the benefits? Why do I need to recap the benefits, Majoy? I have already done that in my entire presentation. Again, keep in mind the title of today's topic is Ending Your Sales Call with the intention of still getting that sale. If you have actually closed a sale at the very ending of your meeting, please comment down below because it happened to me before. So the whole script of you gave up and you just say, okay, Mr. Smith, let me know. Let me know if you change your mind. Let me know if your wife decided to say yes on this invitation. They will not let you know. You have to let you know. You have to let him know. And that is the only time you're going to use this script is when you are at the ending of your sales call. So recap the main benefits because you don't need to recap the entire benefits. That's not necessary. But if you observe on my simple role play, guys, I use a very clear, summarized presentation of the benefits or the main benefits, and at the same time I made sure that it's something that is easy for him to remember, easy for him to understand, even if it had taken me only a few seconds, less than a minute. Okay, so why do I need to summarize the key points? Because I also want to make sure that maybe on the entire presentation he did not really absorb the key points of the benefits I've presented. You need to understand, guys, that whenever we're selling, and I've said this to my sales team before, when we are selling, it's only us, the salespeople, who have the actual listing or who knows the in and out of the product. The person we're selling to, they can be overwhelmed because they really don't know the full details and they're just sitting there absorbing all the information we're throwing at them. And if you reverse the scenario that you are the client and the salesperson is giving you so much information, it can really set you off and say, look, let me think about it. But it's not really that they want to think about the product. They're just overwhelmed. So please take note of this. People don't necessarily say no because they don't really want. It's also sometimes they're overwhelmed with too much information. And this is coming back to my point why tip number one is to summarize the key points of your invitation, because that might click in him and say, oh, okay, you know what? Then how would I know that it clicked to the client? When the client start asking questions about what you have just said. I've experienced this myself. I recap the benefits. I didn't give up. I still did my homework, so to speak, where I have to really discipline myself to ending my call this way, not the I let me know way. So after I did the recap, in some occasions the client would start asking questions again about the benefit. Something like, okay, so Majoy, by the way, can I check with you? So you mentioned that the complimentary night is, I can use that with my wife, or can my family member use that, and so on and so forth. Or you mentioned the group dining voucher, and you mentioned this is fully transferable, so I can actually have I have visitors coming from Japan next month. Can they actually use that when they go to your restaurant? This is when you know, guys, that you're again attracting or building up the momentum of your sales presentation. You're basically tapping on the attention, the interest, and the desire part of your presentation. So, this is why ending a call still with the intention of selling. You're selling until it's goodbye. You're still selling until you hang up on the call. So if you follow this tip, please, I promise you, just the tip number one alone will open up opportunities for you, will also allow you to continue your presentation with your client. Now, let's go to another reason why you have to summarize or basically give a recap. It's because you want to reinforce the solutions you are providing. So let's say, for example, you are selling an insurance plan. Anyone here on insurance plan? Shout out to you. And you know, if you're promoting an insurance program, right? It's how you recap the benefits is also reinforcing the solution you're giving him. Reinforcing the solution could mean numbers. It could mean, let me just recap to you, Mr. Smith. As I've mentioned, if you will be on Plan A, your annual savings will come to about $3,000 given the size of family you have, given the health background of yourself and your wife. Also, the solution to your problem will be, if you will be signing up for this program or for this insurance plan, is A, B, C, D. Why do you need to reinforce the solution at the end of the call? Because you've done that and it didn't work. You're just redoing it. Because when you're doing sales, when we're selling to a client, we may be 100% focused on our sales presentation, as we should be, right? But our client might be sitting there for the next 20 minutes listening to your presentation, and suddenly something crosses his mind like, oh, I need to call this client. Oh, I should not forget to tell my wife about this. There's always random thoughts crossing our minds as a customer when we're sitting there trying to listen to the presentation. And so this is why we need to reinforce the solution, even if you've done it already at the beginning or in the middle of your sales presentation. Again, this is to make sure that when you're trying to end your sales call, whatever he was not able to gather, he's able to have some kind of connection with. And again, to identify whether this is something that's working for him, he will ask you a question. He will be questioning what you've just said, especially if you talk about numbers. If you start talking about dollars, if you start reinforcing solution based on numbers and figures, there is a chance the client would clarify that to you and say, oh, did you say 3,000? Okay, is that actually based on one-time medical bill, or is that based on annual medical bill? And again, it opens up conversation. It lengthens your presentation, and it opens up the opportunity for you to take action. AIDA. If you've never heard of this acronym, it's a standard formula if you are doing sales. So A is attention, I is for interest, D is for desire, and finally A is for action. This is the closing part. So please take note of that. You reinforce the solution and give numbers. How much is the savings? how much is the solution for them, so this is depending on what product you're selling. Just now I gave you an example of someone selling a hotel membership or someone selling an health insurance. All right, so now let's go to the next tip. So the next tip is encourage questions. All right, so why do we have to encourage question? A lot of salespeople are not into encouraging questions because for them it feels like, oh, he might be asking questions that I'm not able to handle, or he might be asking very difficult questions, he might be asking technical questions. But questions are answers. The questions that you're encouraging him to ask you are related to the solutions you're giving him or her. So let me give you, why do I have to encourage questions, first of all? Because you want the client to feel that you value their lifestyle, their interests, their needs. And so you are still, before you even end the call, as you are ending the call, you want to encourage questions because you want to make sure that you want to open the door for future dialogue. So what does that mean? Encouraging questions. Let me give you another role play. So I've done the two scenario role play just now. So then you go, okay, Mr. Smith, I just, as I've mentioned, you are actually looking at $3,000 savings for 12 months of your insurance plan. This is a family plan. This covers yourself, your wife, and two kids. So I just want to check with you and making sure everything is clear. Do you have any questions regarding your savings? Listen to that. The question I'm asking is, do you have any questions with the savings I've just explained to you? It's a very specific question because I want him to give me specific answer. I'm not going to ask a question that is so vague that would take me back again to page 1 of my sales script. I'm at the end. He can hang up any second. He can say, Majoy, I have to rush off. It's been half an hour. And you know that time is of an essence when you are on sales presentation. So make sure that when you actually encourage questions, it is still related to the value of savings that you're selling to him. It's a good question. It's a good question to encourage, because if you say, no, that's all clear to me, then you can attempt to close the sale. All right, Mr. Smith, I understand. I'm glad that everything is clear with you about your $3,000 savings. It's a coverage for your family and your two kids. It will be indicated on your contract. It will be accessible on your online on the email we'll send you, and so on and so forth. So I just want to confirm who will be the principal, whose name will be on the principal here, yourself or your wife. So again, it might be a yes. He might give you the name. Okay, just put it under my name. Then that's, you close the sale. Or if you say, look, I really need to consider this, then at least you can proceed to a really proper way of ending the call, and not just skipping these valuable tips and just say, let me know when you change your mind. Let me know if you change your mind. All right, so another thing, guys. The next step, third tip. What you want to do is you want to confirm the next steps, okay? When you're ending the call, right? The client is really not, the reason why we're talking about this, let me just set the stage. The reason we're talking about these tips is because the client is kind of playing hard to get, or you're not really able to convince him to decide on the spot. So the third tip that I'm sharing to you is basically you want to confirm the next steps. All right, Mrs. Smith, I understand you have a lot of consideration. I do understand that you are interested, but you need to consider few of the benefits, or a few things about the benefits. I mean, or whatever. And then how you follow up the steps is, or how you confirm the next step is, okay, Mr. Lim, what I will do is I will call you on Monday. That would be October the 17th. You're usually available in the afternoon or in the morning? Oh, in the morning. Okay. Would around 10 o'clock, between 10 to 11, be okay with you? Okay, perfect. So I will take note, just to confirm our follow-up appointment meeting will be on the 17th at 10 to 11 a.m. And then what I will do as well is I will send you everything we've discussed today. It will be sent to you by email. You have that in writing, so that you have time to go through all the materials, all the benefits I've mentioned to you. And then when I meet you on the 17th, I'm happy to cover any questions, last minute questions you have before we confirm your registration. That is the meaning, guys, of confirm the next steps. You cannot make it so simple like, let me know, I let you know. You need to make sure that you're still guiding the client at the very last minute of your call, because you never know if suddenly at that point they just say, oh, you know what, I'm traveling on the 17th. It's okay, let's just do it now. I'm just really so busy. Let's confirm this now. Anyway, I will use it next month. And I'm traveling, I won't have time to speak to you. This happened to me many times. When the client's attention is grabbed, when the interest is built, when the desire is constant, the entire sales presentation, guys, it's not over yet. You can still close the sale at the last minute or two of your sales presentation. If this happened to you, please comment down below. It happened to me before. After I even set an appointment date, and the client realized, okay, I can't do it that day, but you know what? Let's just give it a go. And you know why? You know why? Because I recap the benefits again. Because the benefits I've mentioned to him 15 minutes ago probably did not register to him anymore. But repeating it, and I'm looking at the time now on my video. Perhaps it's just been like what? The last 3 minutes, 4 minutes of my conversation with him at the very end of the call, that I'm able to do a recap of benefits, that I'm able to encourage questions, and now I'm trying to basically summarize or confirm the next step. And then he just realized, look, I will buy it anyway. So I might as well just do it now, so you don't need to contact me next week. This happened, and this can happen. So don't give up. Don't just give up on your sales call and say, let me know when you change your mind. Now, last tip, guys, finish off positive. How many of you have experienced a salesperson's tone have changed into the most unenthusiastic, kind of cold, kind of done with you, because in the end, you didn't really want to buy. In fact, I've experienced this face to face, when the face suddenly dropped. When the smile, they're like, yeah, 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 they suddenly like, how many of you experienced that? So this is the reason why at the very end of your call, you could still get the sale, but you make sure that you still finish off positive. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. After doing the step one, or the tip one, the tip two, and tip three, and now you're on tip four. So now, Majoy, I've done everything. It's still a no. The clients still say no, really a big no. Or thank you for repeating everything to me, but I still really want to consider. Well, guess what? Those remaining minutes that you've spent recapping the benefits, encouraging questions, confirming the next steps, they're not a waste. because there's still a possibility that this person or this client will sign up to you in your next appointment or in your next follow-up call, because there's still so much value in doing a recap and all these steps that I've mentioned to you, because you never know if his attention span at the very beginning of your sales presentation may have already faded, or he was in and out of his train of thoughts. So nothing goes to waste, guys. What would be a waste is if you just end the call and say, let me know when you change your mind. Yeah? So I hope that, given the fourth step or the fourth tip, close it properly. Again, set an appointment, be proactive with setting a date and time, making sure that the client is not rushed, that the client still feel good about talking to you, in as much as you try to make him feel good talking to you at the very beginning of your sales presentation. So I hope today's topic is useful for you. I enjoy this topic. I feel that a lot of times salespeople are so focused with introduction, beginning of the call, how to make an impression, how to sell, but then again their skills are dropping. It drops down to closing and then overcoming objection, and then it drops all the way down, and then you just overlook that it ain't over till it's over. In sales especially. So don't end the call or end your conversation in a very simple way. Still make it as beautifully put together and thoughtfully put together, because you never know if one thing will click to your client and he'd say, you know what, let's just go for it. And I experienced that before, and I remember that I was just like, I was just like so excited to fill up the form, because then I start really recognizing that I have to really give my best on my presentation from beginning until, even when I put the phone down after I close the sale, I'm still slowly doing it. I'm just like, I'm just so excited. But you have to do these tips, guys. This should help you save those sales. And these tips are valuable. These are tried and tested. These are practical tips. And I just want to say one last thing with this topic. You can only find out if these are working out for you if you try it. So please try it. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm very excited. Today there were 3 subscribers. Can you imagine? I'm so happy about that. It means that my channel is reaching out to people. My channel is giving value to people. And that's the best part about doing this. And that makes me get up and do my script or do my notes and think about what are the topics that would be valuable to you guys. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you on the next training session. Have a good day, guys. Thanks again. Bye.